Welcome everyone, and thank you for joining this session. My name is Jagdeep, and I'm a specialist solution architect for EC2 Spot instances. Today we'll be talking about how to run a multi-steps data pipeline with Apache Airflow and Amazon EMR. We'll show you how to reduce the running cost of EMR using EC2 Spot instances. This session is for anyone who is interested in optimizing the running cost of EMR and already using or exploring to use Apache Airflow to manage data pipelines. We are going to start with looking at a sample workflow problem where we need to launch EMR and run multiple jobs on it. And of course, we want to achieve this while keeping the running cost of EMR at minimum. We are going to talk about basics of EC2 Spot instances, like what are Spot instances and what are some of the common best practices you need to follow to get the best out of Spot instances. We will also be talking about what to keep in mind while using Spot instances with Amazon EMR. Further, we will explore Amazon managed workflows for Apache Airflow to manage the data pipelines. So without further ado, let's look at the workflow problem we have at hand today. We have a very simple 4 steps workflow problem to solve. In step number 1, we want to create EMR cluster with infrastructure as a code. Our additional goal for this step is to keep the EMR running cost at minimum. In step number 2, we want to run 2 concurrent jobs on EMR and wait till they are completed. In step number 3, we want to start our final job, but only when both previous concurrent jobs are done. And finally, in step number 4, we want to terminate EMR cluster as we are done with the job execution. This way, we can avoid EMR running idle and costing money. Now let's discuss how we can solve this problem. The first issue at hand is to minimize the running cost of EMR. And to achieve that, let me introduce you EC2 Spot instances. Spot instances provide low and predictable prices with up to 90% discount over on-demand instances. Therefore, we'll be using Spot instances to run EMR at low cost. Before we explore how to achieve that, let's look at the basics of Spot instances. So what are Spot instances? Spot instances are the spare compute capacity available to you at steep discounts, often as much as 90% cheaper compared to on-demand prices. The first important thing is to know is the Spot instances are exactly the same infrastructure as on-demand. That means is the same security profile and the same certification that customers expect for on-demand instances. Also, all the instances which you are running on-demand are also available on Spot. And the most important thing to be aware of is the Spot instances are identical in performance to the on-demand instances. Spot prices are set based on long-term supply and demand of EC2 instances. Therefore, the prices change less frequently and are more predictable. If you heard about spot pricing is based on bidding, then that is something we changed in 2017. Therefore, there is no bidding and you don't even need to set the maximum spot price. By default, maximum spot prices are capped on demand. However, you are always charged at the current spot prices. As I said earlier, spot instances are spare capacity available to you at heavy discounts. That means if there is an increase in demand for on-demand instance type in an availability zone, then we can run out of spare capacity for that instance type in that availability zone. At this situation, to meet the on-demand requirement, we give a 2 minutes warning and take the instance back after 2 minutes. The 2 minutes warning is made available to you via EC2 metadata service and Amazon Event Bridge. AWS managed services like Amazon EMR can catch this warning and start the graceful shutdown steps. This is to minimize the disruption to the running jobs. You can get the best experience of Spot instances by including as many Spot capacity pools as possible. Let's understand what are Spot capacity pools. Each instance type in every availability zone in every region is a separate Spot capacity pool, which means that both prices and capacity varies independently from each other. While the spot prices change less often, the availability of spare capacity changes in real time. To ensure you have a steady supply of Spot instances, it is very important that you use multiple instance types across multiple instance families and multiple sizes. This way, if a Spot instance from one Spot capacity pool is interrupted, then you can get a replacement from another Spot capacity pool. By tapping into more spot capacity pools, you can maintain a consistent supply of spot instances. In this example, let's assume you have picked only M5XL in AZA for this use case. By limiting yourself just to one spot capacity pool, you are missing out on all the spare capacity available in M4XL and R5XL capacity pools. If you include all three instance types in the mix, then in case you get interruption for M5XL, then you will get a replacement from M4XL or R5XL without having to wait for M5XL spare capacity to return. Another important question is how you can ensure that you get a replacement from R5XL, which has more spare capacity than M4XL. By getting a replacement from a pool with more capacity, you can minimize the chances of subsequent interruptions. With that thought, let's go to the next slide to understand how you can achieve this. EC2 autoscaling groups and EMR instance fleets have a feature called Capacity Optimized Allocation Strategy. This feature automatically identifies which spot capacity pool has maximum capacity and provides the spot instance from the same pool. You just need to ensure that you pass all the relevant instance types to the EC2 autoscaling group or EMR instance fleet and let the allocation strategy handle the rest. Let's look at the previous example. You identified when M5XL spot instances was interrupted and you wanted replacement to come from R5XL, which has maximum spare capacity at that time. Now we know you can achieve this by simply enabling capacity optimized allocation strategy and get the best experience out of spot instances. We now understand what spot instances are and how to use them in general. Now let's look at how you can use them with Amazon EMR and some best practices to keep in mind. In Amazon EMR cluster, you have three different types of nodes. First is master node that manages the cluster by running services like resource manager, name node, and job tracker. Second is data nodes, known as core nodes also. These are compute nodes which hold HDFS data. In case of Yarn, the application master also runs on one of the core nodes. Finally, there are task nodes. These are again compute nodes but do not hold any HDFS data. It is important to understand the role of different nodes, as it plays an important role in purchasing option for each type of nodes. Spot instances can be used to launch any type of nodes, master, core, or task. In case master node is reclaimed because of spot interruption, then it will cause the termination of cluster. Therefore, we recommend running master node on on-demand instances for long-running clusters. As we mentioned before, core nodes hold HDFS data, and if these nodes are reclaimed due to spot interruptions, then HDFS has to be rebalanced. If all core nodes are reclaimed at the same time, HDFS can even become potentially unusable. Therefore, we recommend running core nodes on on-demand instances for all long-running critical jobs. Since there is no HDFS on task nodes, spot instances are a great fit here. In this example here, we plan to run master and core nodes on on-demand instances to handle the capacity required for smooth processing of EMR cluster. We will run task nodes on spot instances because of the fault-tolerant nature of big data workloads. Now you have identified how you can design your EMR cluster on spot instances. Next, let's think about what all instance types we can include in EMR task fleet to ensure continuous supply of spot instances. As of today, AWS offers more than 350 instance types. And it can be quite overwhelming to find out all the instances which are relevant for your application. To help customer with this, Spot Integration Development Team open sourced a project called EC2 Instance Selector. This tool can run as CLI, and it has a Go library that can be integrated with your applications. In this example, we are asking EC2 Instance Selector to provide us with a list of instances that have minimum 4 vCPUs and maximum 16 vCPUs. We are also asking for instances with 1:8 vCPU to memory ratio to allow uniform number of executors to run on all nodes. We want to exclude GPUs and deny instances which are not supported by EMR. As you can see, EC2 instance selector gave a list of instances that match our requirements, and we can use all these instances directly in our EMR task fleet. Earlier, we discussed about how you can get capacity optimized allocation strategy to allocate instances from the deepest spot capacity pools. Now let's find out how to enable this feature in EMR. EMR version 5.12.1 and later allows you to enable allocation strategy feature in EMR instance fleets. If you create an instance fleet with multiple on-demand instances, then this feature will allocate the lowest price instances first. If you create an instance fleet with multiple spot instances, then it will provide the instances from the deepest capacity pools. Hence, it uses capacity optimized allocation strategy for spot instances. Allocation strategy feature, when enabled, allows you to include up to 15 instance types in your task fleet. This can further strengthen spot capacity of your cluster and allow you to get the best out of spot instances. By now, I'm hoping that you are quite clear on how you can run EMR cluster at low cost using EC2 spot instances. Let's look at what is the next problem at hand. Our next challenge was to automate the process of EMR cluster creation, submission of jobs to it, and finally, cluster termination. You can achieve all these steps with a workflow management tool called Apache Airflow. In case you are not familiar with Apache Airflow, then let's look at what it offers briefly. Apache Airflow has emerged as a fantastic tool to manage complex data pipelines. It allows you to define the workflows from a selection of hundreds of built-in operators and plugins. As of today, it integrates with 16 different AWS services. In Airflow, you can define the workflows as dedicated acyclic graphs, or more commonly known as DAGs. A DAG is written in Python, and it uses Airflow operators to execute the task. You might be interested in knowing how Airflow provides all these functionalities, so let's look at Airflow architecture. There are 4 main components to Airflow. There is a scheduler which schedules the work. There are workers which simply execute the task. There is web server that lets you access the user interface. And then there is a metadata database which stores all the state information and historical data. As you notice, there are a lot of components in Airflow, and managing them all by yourself can be quite challenging. Let's discuss some of the common challenges around self-managing Airflow. The first is really around setup. It's typically a very manual process, and customers end up developing their own tooling around it. Scaling the workers correctly can take a lot of effort. Supporting role-based authorization and mapping them to authentication methods can become quite complicated. Upgrades and patches can become quite an overhead, as Airflow uses hundreds of libraries. Finally, there is ongoing maintenance. Airflow has many different components, and any of these components can fail. It can become quite challenging to monitor everything. Listening to customers' demands around these challenges, AWS has released Amazon Managed Workflows for Apache Airflow. Amazon Managed Workflows for Apache Airflow, or Amazon MWAA, was launched specifically to solve all these challenges. Amazon MWAA is exactly the same Airflow you can download on your own. We have just made it easier to work with. We have made it easy to rapidly stand up new Airflow environments from the AWS console, AWS CLI, AWS API, or AWS CloudFormation. We have made scaling also quite easy. We monitor the workers. If they become overburdened, we add additional Fargate worker containers. Once those workers free up, we just decommission them. It has full integration to AWS IAM for authentication and authorization for both Airflow workers and actual users. You can set up Airflow UI with either VPC only or public access. We allow you to designate a maintenance window, and this is when we will do any patching or upgrades. Rollbacks are allowed in case any issues. We have integrated monitoring with Amazon CloudWatch, which makes it very easy to monitor airflow environment centrally. Next, we will explore how does Amazon MWAA work. First, you create an airflow environment with everything you need to make airflow work. You then simply upload airflow DAGs into the Amazon S3 bucket. And after that, you can directly access the Airflow UI from the AWS console. Before writing the DAG, let's visualize the workflow first. In the workflow, first task is to create EMR cluster. Then add 2 steps to EMR cluster in parallel. Next, watch the progress of these 2 steps. Once both the steps are completed, only then add the third step. Watch the progress of third step, and once completed, then finally terminate the EMR cluster. You can use Airflow EMR operators to achieve all these tasks, and Airflow XCOMs to pass values between these tasks. Now I will demonstrate how to create a basic Amazon MWAA environment, then create an Airflow DAG with Spot best practices. Lastly, execute the DAG to show the end-to-end execution. As a first step, we will go through the Airflow DAG with Spot best practices. Okay, let's look at the DAG now. First is EMR create job flow operator to create EMR. Second is EMR add steps operator to add steps. Third is EMR steps sensor to watch steps progress. Finally, you have EMR terminate job flow operator to terminate EMR. Scrolling down to the EMR create job flow task to see what is required to create EMR. The operator requires AWS and EMR connections. It also needs job flow overrides. Scrolling up to see what are these overrides. We have used Boto3 request syntax to define these overrides. Feel free to explore it more and include overrides as you need. Coming back to DAG and overrides, starting with EMR instance fleets, the first one is master fleet. It will run on a single on-demand M5XL instance type. Second, we have a core fleet. Target on-demand capacity is set to 4. There are 2 instance types, R4XL and R5XL. The core fleet is 100% on demand, therefore the lowest price allocation strategy will apply, meaning you will get the cheapest on-demand instance between R4XL and R5XL. Finally, we have task fleet. Here, target on-demand capacity is set to 0 and Spot capacity to 16. Therefore, it will run 100% on Spot. Let's talk about timeout duration. If Spot instances cannot be provisioned within this duration, then you can choose to either terminate cluster or switch to on-demand. Minimum timeout value is 5, and the timeout applies only during cluster creation. Here, capacity optimized allocation strategy will apply. Remember, it provides the instances from deepest Spot capacity pools. As discussed earlier, we will use EC2 Instance Selector CLI to find relevant instances for our task fleet. We will use AWS Cloud Shell to install and run EC2 Instance Selector CLI. Take a note of selection criteria starting with minimum vCPU 4 and maximum vCPU 16. vCPU to memory ratio of 1:8. Current generations only and no GPU instances. Filter out instance types that are not supported by EMR and few other higher priced enhanced instances. You can include all these instances in your EMR task fleet. Coming back to the DAG, we have already added all these instances in the task fleet. Quick recap, you can add up to 15 instance types in the task fleet. Number of concurrent running steps is 5. Managed scaling is enabled with minimum capacity unit 20, that is the sum of core and task fleet capacity units. Maximum capacity is set at double the initial size. On-demand units equal to number of core nodes, we are also limiting core units to 4 to keep the HDFS static. Scrolling down to 3 EMR steps to simulate the test jobs. All steps run a simple Spark script to calculate the value of pi. Let's scroll down to EMR add steps operator for job number 1. We are using AWS connections to allow AWS access. XCOM pool are used to pass the job flow ID to the add steps operator. Next step is EMR step sensor to monitor the progress of EMR steps. You can see XCOM pool is used to pass the job flow ID and step ID. Note that there are 4 more tasks for submitting and watching other 2 steps. At the bottom, we have used a bit shift operators to chain all these tasks to set the workflow. As next step, we have uploaded this DAG to Airflow S3 DAGs folder. Let's proceed to AWS console to create Amazon managed workflows for Apache Airflow. Here is the landing page for Amazon managed workflows for Apache Airflow. Let's click on Create Environment button to start the step-by-step creation of Airflow environment. Let's name it Airflow ENV Demo 1. Let everything else be default and scroll down to S3 settings. It is required that S3 bucket has versioning enabled. To save time, we have already created the S3 bucket and a DAGs folder. Let's enter the Airflow bucket path. It requires the DAGs folder path also. Let's keep everything else as default and go to the next page. Airflow environment requires a VPC with private subnets. You can create a new VPC by clicking on Create MWAA VPC button. This launches a CloudFormation template to create the VPC. We have already created a VPC to save time. Let's select it from the drop-down. Let's select Public Network so that you can access Airflow UI from AWS console. Keep everything else default and click on Create Environment. This will take 20 to 30 minutes to create the environment. As you can see, environment creation is in progress and it will take 20 to 30 minutes. To save time, we have already created another Airflow environment. We followed the same steps as shown earlier. We have also added an IAM policy to Airflow execution role to access EMR and pass IAM roles. We are all set to launch Airflow Web UI. Let's launch it. Let's trigger the DAG by clicking here. We can monitor live progress of DAGs here. As you can see, Create EMR task has started. This workflow will take nearly 10 minutes to complete. Let's look at one of the previous executions to see the results. You can see EMR was created and first two steps were triggered together, and next step was triggered after that. And finally, EMR was terminated. Let's look at EMR to confirm if the job execution happened in the same sequence as we planned. Here you can confirm the first two steps were launched together, and the third step was triggered only after completion of first two steps. You can see master and core nodes are running on demand and task nodes are running on spot. Let's go to EC2 spot request, then saving summary. Here you can see we ended up saving 83% over on-demand instances. Awesome. With that, let's conclude this demo. I hope you will be able to replicate this easily in your own AWS accounts. Before we conclude the session, let's quickly go through the key takeaways. Remember, Spot instances are a great fit for your fault-tolerant big data workloads, and you can save up to 90% over on-demand compute cost by running fault-tolerant applications on Spot instances. Always use multiple instance types across families, generation, and sizes. And don't forget to enable capacity optimized allocation strategy. It is a key to provision and maintain the desired Spot capacity in your EMR task fleet. And finally, take advantage of Amazon managed workflows for Apache Airflow to spin up Airflow environments with ease. To gain more confidence and hands-on experience with AWS, access the digital training built by AWS experts. You can attend our instructor-led classes by qualified AWS instructors and learn how to design, deploy, and operate well-architected applications on AWS. You can validate your technical expertise with AWS practice exams and help you prepare for AWS certifications. Thank you again for attending this session. We really appreciate your feedback as it allows us to do better in future. So please do take time to fill out this survey and share your thoughts with us.